Got it.
Welcome to Business Buzz with your host, Frank Helring. Do you own a small business, or does that small business own you? Are you seeking increased sales, more loyal customers, lower operation costs, and brand loyalty? If you're interested in elevating your brand and expanding your reach, then Business Buzz will put it all together for you with expert guests, resources that make sense, and your opportunity to be heard. Get ready to call in with your questions and comments at 1-866-472-5790. That's 1-866-472-5790. Business Buzz is out to put the buzz back into your business. Here's your host, Frank Helring.
Hey, can you hear the buzz? Welcome wherever you may be. You have found Business Buzz. I'm your host, Frank Helring, and we're coming to you live, prime time on the VoiceAmerica Business Network channel. And Business Buzz is brought to you today by Moda Business Solutions, because they've got resources that make sense. Well, I'll tell you what, when I started out my insurance career, I started out with a little outfit in LA called Occidental, which became Transamerica. And then I basically switched gears, got my own agency, and joined the Independent Agents Association of America. And you know what that did? It opened up all kinds of doors to all different kinds of insurance companies, because I service the client, not the company. And if you are a small business out there today and you've got issues of marketing, communications, or even cutting operational costs, pick up the doggone phone right now and dial 858-251-4640. That's 858-251-4640. And Moda can help you blacken your bottom line. To get in touch with us on the show, dial toll free 877-3-NOWBUZ. Leave me a little voicemail. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I'll call you back. We'll talk about you being on my show real soon. Well, shout out to one of my national advertisers, Letip. LETIP.com, 4,500 businesses strong in America, coast to coast, border to border, exploring in the Northeast. Listen, if you want to find out who your community business is in your own backyard, you need to go to LETIP.com right now. Get a president to invite you to a breakfast or a lunch. No dinners. You got to be a member for that. But I'm telling you right now, they've got an empty chair right now there waiting for you in a market sector category, not 3 real estate agents like in a chamber of commerce or 4 guys that want to cut your lawn. We're talking about you occupying a single chair, and everybody, the next time you become a member, representing your business. So get with it. LETIP.com today. They'll put you in a chapter president's realm real soon. Well, I'll tell you what, I've been talking about it. I've been preaching about it. November of 2022, I did a show. We uncovered an incredible travesty in this country called veterans being murdered in their beds. So we created a landing page called Veteran Murders, MURDERS. They've got that show on there. I was interviewed by Scott McKay of Patriot Street Fighters, nationally syndicated podcast. There's all kinds of resources on there. So go to Veteran Murders, MURDERS.com. So if you're a veteran, or you know a veteran, or you just happen to love veterans, go to veteranmurders.com. Let's start getting the word out there, because the only way this is going to change is top-down action by Congress or the Senate, or dare I say maybe the next president. So go to veteranmurders.com today and let's stop the killing. Well, this is now the 3rd anniversary show of Business Buzz Business Watch. So shout out to my audience. You've made it all happen. We are here now going on 3 years. Isn't that amazing? And it's all because of you. Well, I'll tell you what, in honor of that, I have been telling you, unity, relationship, law of reciprocity. That's what's going to bring you back. That's what's going to bring small business back in America. And yesterday, I had an incredible example of that. Hey, George, I hope you're listening in out there. George Murrow of Effective Plumbing Services Corporation. I had a problem in my own house where I was getting backflush from my washer machine, right? And all of a sudden, here comes George. I got him off Angie's List. So shout out to Angie's List. That's a public company now, right? Doesn't matter of fact. But anyway, George comes in to walk into my garage, and he was going to charge me $195. Get it? $195 basically to clear my drain. Well, after about an hour and a half, he couldn't clear that drain. And you know what he did? He turned to me and he said, Frank, this is what it's going to take. He's going to come back Wednesday and fix it the way he should have. Going to be a little bit higher price. But you know what he did? He turned around and said, I could not fulfill my obligation to you today. I'm only going to charge you half. So I hand him a $100 bill. That's the law of reciprocity in action. Okay. So if you want a great plumber, you need to go to Effective Plumbing right now. George Murrow is the owner, and the phone number is 949-815-4640. Shout out, George. You did a great job. Look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really excited about this show today. I'll tell you what, I had a hard time sleeping last night. And the reason being is because the lady I've got on with me this morning, and I'm going to call her right now what she is. She's a lady of Las Vegas. I had breakfast with her a couple of weeks ago when I was on a business trip to Utah. I spent some time with an incredible lady called Ninon, and I hope you get this right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ninon de Vere De Rosa. She's an award-winning television talk show host, entrepreneur, executive producer, spokesperson, and internet personality. Ninon de Vere De Rosa presents media image training. Originally from England, Ninon is now prominently known throughout the world and has a natural affinity for growth and success. Ninon has over 25 years of experience in strategic development in communications and consulting in public, private, and NGO sectors with a variety of professionals such as producers, directors, entertainers, investors, real estate owners, business owners, foundations. She's like the who's who, entrepreneurs in the everyday life as we all live in. She possesses extensive knowledge and experience as an executive producer and director of internet television and radio talk show hosts. Ninon has had the opportunity to interview famous and infamous financial executives, real estate brokers, politicians, educational leaders, as well as highly admired entertainers of this world. Ninon de Vere De Rosa, welcome to Business Buzz. So happy to have the lady of Las Vegas with us this morning.
I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, who is this woman? Now I've got to live up to everything you just said.
Ninon, I'll tell you what, it's so exciting to have you on my show. The hour that we spent in Vegas a couple of weeks ago was time well spent. And I'm telling you something right now, I've got a bevy of small business owners out there right now that would love to hear from you and your background and where you have come from, because you've got generational wisdom in your knapsack.
Well, that's one problem, is the generational thing, which makes me an older person. But on the good side of that, because I can't change that, is that I can help any of these, small business people, and I can help them on their journey and what they need to do and how they need to do it. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step out there, because if you don't step out there, you don't get it.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you a question. You have, wearing a multitude of hats here in this bio that I just read, but where did you come to the realization that you were this incredible, infamous lady of Las Vegas?
Actually, through a lot of people in Vegas. I was actually on another show and I was interviewing this guy called John, and he said, "Oh, let's do a show together." And I said, "Sure." And that's when I started Vegas Live with Ninon. And I got to know practically all the entertainers and everybody in Vegas. And I never charged them to come on the show. It was strictly come on the show. I would interview them for 15 minutes. And it was very good for them and very good for me. But what I did do is I did not want it on the networks. I wanted it on the internet. I always wanted to do an internet TV show. And that's where I started it. I think I did that for 8 years. Vegas Live with Ninon, but I met a lot of incredible people. And the entertainment people here in Vegas is a little different story than what you actually see. And it's a good one and also a bad one. But it's a story that should be out there of what the entertainers go through.
Yep. Ninon, I've been called a Renaissance business guy because I've worn a lot of hats underneath this hat I'm wearing today. And just to make mention, the hat that I'm wearing today, folks, if you see me live on YouTube, this was a hat that was given to me by Jeff Spinard, the late CEO and founder of VoiceAmerica. And this is in memorialization of my love for him and everything that he and I went together to put this show together. And that's the reason why I'm wearing that hat today. Ninon, you weren't always in Las Vegas, right? You were at one time in California. Tell us a little bit about that, because that just happens to be where I'm broadcasting from.
I actually, I moved into Beverly Hills. I actually moved to Beverly Hills in 1972. So we're going back a few years. And it was a great experience. I worked at a shop called Giorgio's, which was owned by Fred Heyman. I did not know that this was one of the most influential stores probably on Rodeo Drive. I didn't know that. I just went, I had to do something, had to work. Didn't know anybody in Beverly Hills, didn't know anybody. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I met my husband in Beverly Hills, James De Rosa. And from that, I moved, and it was really quite a funny story. And everybody thought I was totally nuts. But when you fall in love with a guy, it's a little different. And he had no money, and I had no money, and I had more money than him, and I had no money. And he had this house in Northridge. It was a little tiny home. It was a $35,000 home. Absolutely, but anyway, I moved out there, moved in with him, met him in November, got engaged in August, and got married 3 years later. And in all that time, I learned real estate through him. And we ended up, and I helped him because I was very good at selling and doing different things. And it was just me, as usual. And we ended up with a beautiful home in Bel Air. We had a 7,000 square foot home in Bel Air. My local bar was the Bel Air Hotel. And so things moved up there very graciously for me, but it was an exciting time. And I decided that I was, I think, 32 at the time. And I thought, oh, Ninon, you've got to get married. You've got to get married. English women are supposed to get married when they're like 20, 22. So I kind of missed that boat. And I got married and everything. And that's part of the story.
It's interesting, Ninon, that you're like two ships passing in the night here, right? Because I graduated high school at Arroyo High School in El Monte, California in 1970. I was in college in 1972, but I was still based out of Southern California. So we kind of are kissing cousins on that one, right?
Absolutely.
Question. I mean, real estate, right? I mean, my goodness, you meet a husband, both don't have money. Next thing you know, and you get the real estate industry together, you end up with one of the most expensive pads in all of Southern California, Bel Air. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think my audience would like to know how you went from rags to riches.
Well, and it's funny because you asked a question earlier when we were off the air, and you asked me, how did I get where I got? Well, I left home at 16 with $5. So that's how I started. I worked 20 hours a day, made £100. At that time, it was quite a lot. I moved to London and took up modeling. So that's where that all started. And with that, I went to Beirut for a couple of years. I had an underwater swimming act. And then I went to Jamaica and did some filming there and did a lot of work there. And then from there, I moved to Miami. Miami, I moved to California. California, I met my husband. And I was always quite good at meeting people and being with people. So I was there. My husband was very, very shy. In fact, every time anybody spoke to my husband, they would ask me, what did he say? So I had to get this second ear. And this is where the talk show comes in. I had to get this second ear to listen to him and then listen to everything he said and repeat it. So that was a good lesson to learn where I am now. So it was kind of, you don't know you're learning these lessons as you go along, but I was learning this lesson. Anyway, so I would talk to we'd have these big meetings and everything and sort of, for real estate. And suddenly I realized that, wow, you can make a couple of $100,000 in one deal. Well, I quite like that. I thought, oh, this is better than sort of making a couple of thousand or 3,000 a month. And so I helped him tremendously with it, with my personality, and he's a brilliant man, absolutely brilliant. And I loved him dearly. I was the luckiest woman in the entire world. I found the guy that I really loved. We loved each other. We held hands for 29 years. And unfortunately, he passed away. But I think in helping, and I think most women miss out on this. I never asked him too many questions of the manly questions. That I figured he would always answer those questions anyway, if he wanted to. But I think the greatest thing a woman could ever do with a man, a husband, or whatever the case may be, I think is to listen to him and help him in a way that, well, not saying I did it, but letting him know that I'm there to help you. So we helped each other, and that's how we I remember we were on Hollywood Boulevard, opposite the Pantages Theater, and there was this building for sale. So we went in and inquired about it, and we bought it for I think it was $250,000. And we got quite a lot of money then, so we were able to put the down payment down. We sold it for $800,000. So when you talk about deals like that, that's how kind of it manifested. And, the Bel Air Park came in and all this expensive, and the Rolls Royces and my dogs. I had 3 black Labrador dogs, and it was just a beautiful journey.
Yeah, you definitely did not get that done making $18 to $20 an hour, right? Which it seems like that's what they're trying to do, is box this next generation, millennials, into being, paid employees by the hour, corporate basically going down that road. You are the epitomization, I think, of the American dream, right? Not only do you meet your husband in a restaurant, which I've done a tremendous amount of restaurant shows and continue to do that in the future, but I'm telling you right now, that basically speaks volumes of the fact of you merging your talents, right? Recognizing your strengths and putting it to work. That's what small business is all about, right?
It's interlocking. It's like hands. You put your hands, interlock your hands. Well, the other hand is your husband's hand. So you put this hand into your husband's hand and you kind of lock it. And you really have to trust each other. And I do believe in a marriage that you should be able to say anything and do anything you want without having the argument, because we're all entitled to our own opinions. And my husband he's Italian, so everything, it was a big thing.
Oh, you lived with a lot of gestures, that's for sure. Okay. The other thing is, and not to get into a marital course here, but there's two things that men need. You ready? They need recognition and they need appreciation. You give those two things to a man, you have got the best lover on the face of the earth.
Well, I appreciated my husband. I just loved him the world, and I still do. And he died in 2004, and I'm still not married.
I believe you.
Because I really love the guy, and I'm not trying to competition with him and another man. Maybe I am. I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, I don't have a guy.
Anyway, I've got to cut away for our first break. Ninon, and we're definitely going to come back in and we're going to talk about what you're doing in Las Vegas. We're going to take a quick break here. You're listening to Business Buzz with Frank Helring live on Voice America Business Network. Brought to you now by, California Senior Guide.com. One of my major sponsors. Listen, if you're a small business out there, you got a product or a service, you want to get it in front of millions of seniors just in California alone, you need to go to CaliforniaSeniorGuide.com. I realize that seems really sophomoric and antiquated, or basically sopped with. I'm telling you right now, that's the way they operate. CaliforniaSeniorGuide.com. Go to that website. You'll get a pop-up box. Put your email in there. Somebody will get in contact with you, talk to you about an 8th page ad, a quarter page ad, a half page ad, or a full page ad like I've got in Voice America. And also I negotiated Voice America for their full page ad. And guess what? I've got 2 major stars coming up that's being referred to me by this magazine. One of them, I've been giving you hints. I'm going to tell you who it is now. Dolly Parton. Mark your calendar. I'm going to give you the date. It's upcoming. Dolly Parton has a lot of small business interests, and believe me, they're going to be talked about on this show. So go to CaliforniaSeniorGuide.com today and find out how you can get in front of millions of seniors. And believe me, they got the money. $3.5 trillion of disposable earnings in that pocketbook or wallet, all waiting for you. So go to CaliforniaSeniorGuide.com and find out what you're missing today in advertising and marketing. I've been mixing it up with Ninon de Vere De Rosa. What a fabulous lady, the lady of Las Vegas. We're going to be right back after my advertisers take 2 and 2 to take a look at you with more buzz for your business.
All clear. Great segment. Back into.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Now we're going to drill down into Vegas.
Okay. That we will do.
Yeah.
How long a break do we have?
About 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is
we're
Doctor coming back
running
here?
commercials right now.
Okay. How did you like that segment?
Great.
Good.
It's human. It's introspective. I get introspective like Patrick, just not as soft as Patrick.
Yeah, I need action.
Did you like that? Did you like the way that rolled, Andrea?
Yeah, you guys are doing a lovely job. It's very nice. Ninon, so just so you know a little bit about me, I had my own radio show for 13 years internationally. So it was just me, and then my board operator, he got on and talked with me once in a while as well. And we interviewed people all over the world. And then it was 2 hours every Sunday night. And then over the last 9 years, I've helped produce other people's shows and co-hosted them, and brought one show from 5 listeners to over 350,000 downloads. So I have a little bit of background in radio.
You have a lot of background. That's cool. That's great.
One, two, knock
So
out.
I love
punch.
it very much. Yeah.
So what's your goal now?
So So I own 3 businesses. And so all of my businesses overlap in the area of relationships. So I still do radio. So the one business that I started with is an intimacy and relationship business. So I've had it for almost 30 years now. And that business is called Ignite Your Relationship. So it's about your personal and professional relationships. It started out with only intimacy and sexuality.
How's your relationship with your husband?
Oh, wonderful. We get along really well. We've been together 28 years. Yeah, 28 years. And then because I worked with people with their relationships, then they wanted me to help them with their business relationships. So then I started doing like conflict resolution.
Coming back.
I'll tell you more about it next time.
Thank you very much, Andrea.
Yep, 10 seconds.
Okay, here we go.
You're listening to Business Buzz with your host, Frank Helring. To reach the live show, please call 1-866-472-5790. Again, that's 1-866-472-5790. Or send Frank an email at info@businessbuzz.com. That's info@BIZZNESS buzz.com. Now, back to Business Buzz.
Hey, welcome back. I'm your host, Frank Helring, live on Voice America Business Network. I've been mixing it up with Ninon de Vere De Rosa. As far as I'm concerned, she's the lady of Las Vegas. And we're going to talk about that, Ninon, because Vegas was one of the hardest hit areas in the pandemic.
Yes.
Who was there when the lights went out in the City of Lights in Las Vegas? You were, right?
I was there, and it was a very strange and something you probably would think to yourself, this would never happen in Vegas. I've been around a long time, and I've been in many countries and many places with sparkles and lights, and you never think of anything going out. And I remember I had my cell phone with me, and I got in the car, and I thought, drive down Vegas Boulevard. Well, it was so scary. And one of the things I noticed, and there was like police cars outside of all the hotels, just one police car, nobody around, no lights. But one thing I was very disappointed in, because I thought they could have put a few lights on, just to keep Vegas going. But one thing I thought was really, really bad is none of the hotels took care of the outside and the gardening. And everything became very sort of kind of overgrown. And that really gave a look that was so disappointing to the greatest street, probably, or different street, or boulevard, whatever you call it, Vegas Boulevard, in the world. I mean, this is so famous. Vegas Boulevard is so famous because of the casinos and the bright lights and the waterfalls and the everything. I mean, such action. And this was totally, completely dead. But the gardening was all overgrown. And I thought, at least they could have kept up the gardening. At least they could have kept up trimming the trees and trimming. But it was a total disaster. It was so upset. So I did a video of it, and I actually put it on air. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I did it. That's typical me, because it's real life. And I love real life, and that let people know what was going on. And it was just a disaster.
No, I don't think anybody knows that. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, when you're talking about, that'd be like Buckingham Palace, right? All of a sudden, everything's overgrown. The flowers aren't being trimmed. The guards, standing there have got beards. I mean, wow. I mean, that's amazing that Vegas would not take care of the aesthetics of the city. That's
unbelievable. I could not believe that would act with all the money in the world, because they had enough money to keep themselves going, I'm sure. But they could have had there was one hotel that had lit up, I forget what the word was, but anyway, they lit up in each bedroom to spell out a word, which was rather, I think it was a heart or something they did, which was rather nice. But majority of it was just so disastrous. It was just unbelievable. The Caesar's Palace, Tropicana, all of them.
And this was a long period of time.
Yes.
Now, you are a small business owner in Vegas, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, I came to Vegas because of a girlfriend of mine. My husband had already passed away. And I was in Los Angeles. I lived up on Mulholland Drive at that time. I had a beautiful home on Mulholland Drive, 7534 Mulholland Drive. And she kept saying Diana Dela Cruz, and she kept saying, Nina, got to come out here, come out. So I came out, and I was investing in real estate. So I bought quite a lot of real estate up. And then I went through the 2010. I call it the demolition of real estate. It was a disaster. I came out okay, but I lost a lot of property. I lost that. And I was building my empire, that incredible empire. But that was a little bit of a disaster, but that was just life. You know, you move on, you have to move on. And I did. So I saw the times when real estate in Vegas was, I've seen different things in Vegas. And that was another one of them. Real estate went all the way down.
You know, my stepson lives in Vegas. He, up until an illness recently that struck him, which was Lou Gehrig's disease.
Oh, no.
Keep somebody in your prayers. Please keep Corey Hewlett in your prayers. He's my stepson.
I will. My brother died of that.
Yeah, but he was servicing all 5 major hospitals in Vegas with the biotech and whatnot. He was 2 o'clock in the morning, nothing worked. Out went Corey. You know, of course, that day is behind him, but. You know, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you know, I mean, Vegas going dark, that's one thing, shutting the casinos down. But what about that incredible community of small businesses out there, which were all the subcontractors that Vegas subscribed to that kept those casinos going? They got shut down as well. Yes.
Absolutely. But the problem is now is that it's like reoccurred again, because there's a lot of small businesses now because of our economy, because of the virus, because of all the COVID-19, all that has gone through, they've got shut down again. So the commercial business and the small businesses, especially in Vegas, are a total disaster. A disaster. I don't buy any real estate at the moment because I don't know where the office buildings are all empty. But they say they're coming back. I don't know, but that's what they say.
So the occupancy rate of commercial buildings in Vegas is still pretty depressed.
Pretty lean. It's not very good. No, it might be a good time to buy, but you're going to buy on the sort of hoping it's going to come back. And I don't know. Small businesses are a disaster, regardless of the COVID-19. Small businesses are now internet businesses. So your small business has now gone to the internet because you can do a lot of business on the internet now. So I'm always on the very, very positive side of life. I don't look at how bad that is. I look at the next step of how good that could be. So that's where I kind of move along. It's like when I'm in the stock market. So I look at the stock market and I see what is going on right now. So a lot of people in the COVID-19 were home. So what businesses are home and what business can go up that are in the stock market where people at home would buy goods or buy stuff or do something? So I try to gravitate where people are gravitating to and sort of make money there. So I always look at the positive side of where you can make it, not how it has gone.
Absolutely. You know, I own a small business, and I own Allure Metastates along with my wife here in Southern California. And when March 11, 2020 hit, we literally got sent home for 90 days, right? So not only did we get shut in, but we got shut out from our customer base. Now, because we're an essential business, medically oriented, we were able to reopen. But you know what? In Vegas, that wasn't the case, right? I mean, months and months and months and months and months. Let me tell you something. The reason why I'm going here is because I got a soft spot in my heart for the hard hit areas that small business got whacked, you know, during this pandemic, Vegas being one. And now you are involved with us on a different level with Persuasion that we're involved with called Transact Card, right? Which is an incredible launch in this coming November in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And one of the things that we're planning on doing is an extravaganza the night before the launch. And this is something that I'll tell you what, the more I'm sitting here talking to you, the more I'm sitting here saying to myself, hey, wait a minute, she's already in the zone.
I'm in the zone.
A lot of people in that neck of the woods. Mm-hmm. And so what do you think?
I think it's a brilliant idea. And I think anything, let's just go back to you said March 11th. March 12th, I had a phone call 10 o'clock in the morning, and I had 2 hours to shut the whole business down, this rental thing I had. 2 hours to shut it down. And I'm like, what is this? And then it was shut down for quite a long time. So going back to that, but going back to what the performance you want to put on, I've got a lot of obviously entertainers I know, because the show I had, Vegas Live with Ninon, that I had for 7 years, I entertained and I talked to mostly entertainment people, and they all had 2 jobs. They have the job that they do during the day, and then they do their performance at night. Unfortunately, the hotels don't really take in the entertainers as much as they used to. So they have to find more on the outskirts. And this is, funny you should talk about it, this is where the small business comes in, because a lot of these entertainers are going into the small restaurants and the small businesses and the restaurants, because, you know, Vegas is the entertainment music place in the world. So now majority of them, like in Los Angeles, you don't really have an entertainer in a restaurant. In Vegas, you do. In Vegas, you have by the bar or part of the bar or anything, like the Italian American clubs, very well known here in Vegas. And they have, you know, a showroom which people perform in, then they have a bar and a restaurant. It's all attached together, but they always seem to have an entertainer. So that's one good thing and that's happening more and more. They don't pay them that much, unfortunately, because a lot of entertainers come to Vegas to get known, so they do it free. So there's like a little sort of, you know, it's half a dozen of one and the other. You've got ones that get paid, and then you've got the ones that don't get paid, but they want to be seen. It's tough out there.
Can I get candid with you a little bit, Ninon? We're going down a pathway I didn't expect on this show, but I'm telling you something right now. I mean, our intention, this particular company, transactcard.com, is going to shrink wrap a truck with a trailer on the back of it with an ATM, because what this company is doing is they're basically going to revolutionize the debit card industry by turning around and having a debit card that every single time you swipe it, you get like amount Z-Bucks, which can be spent in their now probably building 25 million product store, right? Where you can offset this cost with these Z-Bucks every single time you spend for your groceries or your gas or anything like that. These get awarded to you, right? That you can spend. So you're doubling the amount of your spending power, right?
Yeah, right. Now, you've introduced this. No, not you. Patrick introduced me to this card. Within 10 minutes, I signed up. Number one, the card is a Visa card, though it's got its own name, which I like. So it's honorable. That's number one I liked of it. If you spend $100 Z-Bucks, you get 100 back.
Yeah.
So whatever, and then you get 50% here and 50% there, and it's absolutely amazing. But Z-Bucks is like an Amazon, and I think if you explain that, people understand that when they get these Z-Bucks points, they sort of, well, where do I spend it? What do I do? Well, it's like an Amazon. You can go to this particular site, and there's lots of things. It's like Patrick was explaining. If you go on a cruise and say the cruise is 20,000. You get 20,000 points. So then you go to Z-Bucks and you can buy, you know, obviously whatever you want, because there's a lot of money there.
This is like a Shangri-La for women. You know, women go to put it on sale, right? I mean, this is beyond putting it on sale. This is actually putting more money in a woman's pocketbook to go spend more. That's amazing.
Yeah, because you spend money. And what I loved about it, they won't take on a mortgage, because most credit cards don't pay mortgages. That's something they don't do, so people know that. But you can you can pay your gas bill on there, your electric bill on there. If you rent a piece of property, you can put your rent on there, and then you get these Ziba. And I mean, it's just a win-win situation with this particular. And
can I share my idea with you? I'm thinking about coming into Vegas one day before they do this launch. And taking the truck and running it from Las Vegas Boulevard all the way down to Fremont, hanging a Yui, right? And
I will only agree with it if I'm on the truck.
Oh, without a doubt. Either that or you'll be on my, passenger seat of my Buzzmobile, right? Because I have that car, right? Yes. Right. So we'll follow the Buzzmobile down. But what we're thinking about doing is an entire day event where we're literally going to go out, right? And we're going to go to gas stations, help people pay their bill. We're going to go to the grocery stations.
Now, didn't you just wait a second? Didn't you just do this?
We did.
This card in where was it? Arizona somewhere? And you paid people's bills for them? Isn't that what you did? I've lost you. Well, I don't know where Frank went, but Frank disappeared. And
I think we've lost you.
Frank, we've lost Frank, but that's okay. I'll continue with this particular card. It's absolutely incredible. And I think this event in Vegas, which is going to be November the 11th, we're going to be up. And I think the idea of having this wrapped car floating down Vegas Boulevard will be.
I'll join you to talk about it because I know a little bit about it.
You
just introduced me sooner.
Smelling on myself, but am I doing okay?
You're doing a wonderful job. So I'm part of Transact as well, part of
Let
Frank's.
me just introduce, I'm a host, so let me introduce. This is Dr. Andrea, and she's absolutely amazing. She's had her own talk show. She's got a great history behind her, but let's go back to the Transact card, and you know more about it than I do.
Yeah. So, the really cool thing about this is they're really allowing people to take charge and, have their own business through the Transact. And some of the things that I'm loving about it is, so I'm using it, I'm having my clients use it and having my clients use it so that they're all supporting each other while we're helping all these different businesses. And they've brought on so many astute businesses. And as they are more known, more different types of businesses are able to come on, and Frank can talk about even more of them.
Isn't the Transact card also involved with all the small banks rather than the big banks? Frank, you can answer this.
Am I back?
Yes, you are back.
Okay,
I mean, you disappeared on me, and I had to hold my own.
The NSA intervened. I have no idea. I told you I get watched, right? Okay.
Yeah, we got the doctor on now, so we've got three of us now. We can really put the story out there.
And the whole idea of this is the Visa cards are issued from community banks, not from Chase, Wells Fargo and Bank of America. So the whole
banks
store up these community banks, because community banks are dying on the vine out there every day that goes by. So to be able to have this debit card be funded by a community bank is absolutely amazing. Unfortunately,
isn't that also going back, Frank? Isn't that also going back to the small business?
Absolutely. We're going to pick this up as soon as I do a break. I hate to say this, but this ran me right into a break, ladies. So hold on to your hats. We're going to come right back.
I'm not wearing one.
Here, BizZne BuzZ with Frank Helring and Ninon, and now Dr. Andrea, my publicist, brought to you by Business Group Resources. Listen, I have been talking to you, cajoling you. If I could shake you by the shoulders, I'd do it. Okay. You small business out there, if you have not taken advantage of the R&D tax credit, this is a tax credit that was ratified by Ronald Reagan, President of the United States. Every U.S. president has ratified that tax credit all the way out to our current one. Everybody say a prayer that he doesn't change that. But the bottom line here is that millions of dollars are being put back in the hands of small business. Your 3P loans are gone. Your EIDL loans are gone. Your small business loans, good luck. 740 FICO to get money from Chase. I'm telling you right now, pick up the phone. 877-857-6875. 877-857-6875. My good buddy out there, Ron DeVos, can get you back to 3 years. 3 years of taxes you've already paid. Money in your hands, tax-free, plus 6% compounded interest. When's the last time you had the IRS pay you 6% compounded tax-free interest? So pick up that phone, 877-857-6875. Find out what you're entitled to. Well, I've been mixing it up, even though I had an interruption, with Ninon de Vere De Rosa of the Lady of Las Vegas. Now I got my publicist, Dr. Andrea, who jumped in. Thank you very much for saving my bacon, Dr. Andrea. And we're going to be right back after my advertisers take 2 and 2 to take a look at you, hopefully without an interruption, with your business.
All clear. Great segment. Back into.
Except for the interruption. Jeez Louise.
I think we picked it up, Frank.
Could be.
Yeah, it was okay. Where did you go anyway?
Maybe I disappeared. I would totally
you disappeared. Something happened. Yep. Did you go to feed the dog?
No. I'm going to kick the dog if she did.
Oh no! Don't kick the dog.
If she nailed my modem, I'm going to, but I don't think she did. No, I think I just got blurted out. That's weird.
Yeah, but it's okay. These things happen, that's why.
The Department of Defense has a code on the internet. That's where the internet came from.
Really?
People don't know that.
No, I do now, but I didn't know that.
The DOD has a hidden code inside the internet which they can exercise at will. This was originally put together as a communication system militarily.
Okay. Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's
a little disquieting.
Yeah, that's you have to think twice about that one of obviously what you say, but what you say is what you say. Who cares?
Especially with the Department of Justice nonsense we see going on today.
Oh yes, that's
Unbelievable. Anyway, we're going back into the third segment, and I'll tell you what, I think we ought to continue with this Transact and talk about Vegas and talk about all that good stuff. And then we're going to get right to me asking you to be my co-host. Okay.
okay. Absolutely. Yes, we can definitely talk about that.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm going to bring it in. I'm saying, I'd love to have you live on stage with us, Ninon.
Ooh, I'll be live. All right. Live in Vegas.
And oh, by the way,
Dr. Andre, you're being awfully quiet.
I'm just listening to you both chat and seeing where you're at.
Well, she's probably seeing metamorphosis in me, right?
Yeah, I'm liking,
so.
I think the banter is good when he has more people with you, to help drive that energy and excitement. So the other parts of me, Ninon, is then because of that business doing so well, I was on 2020 and a whole bunch of other cool things with that relationship business. So then people started saying, wow, you've got all this publicity. How did you get that? And I did it myself. So then I opened up the publicity business.
We are coming back.
Coming back. Here we go.
PPP, COVID-19, SBA, is there a way? It's time for Business Watch, where your voice matters. Call into the show at 1-866-472-5790. That's 1-866-472-5790. Or drop us an email at info@bizznessbuzz.com. That's info@BIZZNESS buzz.com. We know you've got something to say. Now, here's Frank Helring, Business Watch, where your voice matters.
Hey, welcome back. Now on Business Watch, this is the segment of the show where we open up the phone lines and allow you, my live audience, to call in live to the show. So pick up the phone and dial 866-472-5790. That's 866-472-5790. And you can be on live on Business Watch with Ninon de Vere De Rosa, unbelievable lady of Las Vegas. And now I've been joined by my publicist, Dr. Andrea Adams Miller. So I'll tell you what, we're going out to the end of the show here. Listen, ladies, I'm telling you something right now. This incredible Transact.com card could literally be the boost I've been looking for small.
Women, absolutely. For women, this is a gift in heaven.
It is. They need a boost because one of the things that you asked me to talk about before we broke away, how does small business win with this? They win because they can take that Visa card, send it out to their CRM database of thousands of customers. The customers adopt this new debit card. Every single time they swipe that debit card, they're going to pay that small business who sponsored them. We are in the arena of microtransaction today. That's how Amazon makes their money. That's how eBay makes their money. That's how a lot of these guys out there make their money in this predator realm. And now that space is going to get invaded in the right way because people are going to be able to basically lay down that Chase card, lay down that Wells Fargo card, lay down that Bank of America card, pick up Transact, go shop, double their volume of dollar spending capability, and at the same point in time, bless others. Does it get any better than that?
No, no, it doesn't. It's just, and I guess, once this comes out, more and more people are going to get involved, and because everybody at the moment is on a money thing, because it's a money crunch. Everything's going up, and they're trying to save money every way they can. And I think this is coming out actually at the right time. So the owners of this company shot it. Good timing, that's for sure.
Ninon, let me ask you a question. Do you believe, and as I believe, that small businesses need fun?
Yes.
They need laughter. They need to go out and have a good time.
Yeah, let's stop being so serious. From the beginning of time, things progress, things change. I mean, I happen to love change. I think change is great. And Transact card is a change. Whichever way you look at it.
If we put up a live stage in Vegas and we bring out some entertainment, right?
Yep, I got plenty of it for you.
I know you do. Okay. And then we introduced this incredible Transact card. And believe me, they've got a couple of programs coming up that are totally suited to the small business arena, period. Okay. And they're going to announce that in Vegas, and I'm not going to steal the thunder on this show. But the bottom line here is that we entertainers, right? Myself, you, Dr. Andrea, of course, live talk show host in the past. Couldn't it be amazing to have us on a deck, right? Background, right? You know what? I'm going to take a step of faith.
I think it's going to be amazing, but I think what it is, it's what it's giving to the small business people is it's giving to them that there is people out there that care for them and want to help them. And I think that's what we really need. And I'm talking about the whole world, not just America. I'm talking about the whole world. I think we all need to help stop this aggravation. When somebody bumps into you, they don't even say sorry anymore. Well, I'm from England, which you all probably understand by the accent. We're always polite and we're sorry, and we seem to have lost that. We've lost this incredible connection that we had and we don't have now. And I think with this Transact card, I think this might be able to bring back the middle class people, because small business is middle class. And if we lose our middle class, we know where we're going, and that's not good.
Yeah, we've got more cell phones on this planet than we do population, right? Just here in America alone. So we know how to communicate. We don't know how to be any less rude. Ninon, let me take a step of faith here. How would you like to join me on stage in Vegas?
I would love to. Oh, I love that. Well, I've only met you once, and that first meeting, which was, 8 o'clock in the morning, which is not a good time for me, but you are absolutely amazing. You have so much energy and talent, of course, but you want to do so much for other people. So for me to be on stage with you would be an absolute honor. Can
I take another step of faith?
Why not? You're on
my senior executive producer and my publicist who's on the show today. We've been doing some research about a guy by the name of Regis Philbin and Kathy Lee Crosby.
Yes.
And we took a look and we saw that when Regis was on by himself, the audience numbers were okay. But the minute he put Kathy Lee Crosby on the other side of him, they shot to the moon. He became top of the market in talk show daytime.
Yes, they did.
Right now, we are candidated and looking for a co-host to join me on Business Buzz and Business Watch. I really like the synergy that's happening on this show today, Ninon. I realize that our ages are separated by about a decade, but I don't care about that. That doesn't.
No, I'm younger than you, so what can we do?
Yeah, there you go. Let's have some fun together. Let's help small businesses. And I'll tell you another reason why I'm motivated. 20% of the small business community are female out there. They're the fastest growing element of small business in the United States.
Yes,
now, I'm not going to put on a dress. I definitely want to get in that arena. I need somebody to help take me there. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Do I have a yes?
You have a 100% yes. I would love to.
Dr. Andrea? We're going to definitely put the piece.
What do you think? What do you think?
I have noise for her. Here we go.
What was that? Yay!
The phone comes up in the noise. I get it, the applause. Yeah. One of the things I got to work on is getting a soundboard in this show. We'll
yeah, I did the best I could. That's fine. Congratulations, you two.
When guests stop talking, the cricket sound.
I think it's amazing, and I'm absolutely highly honored for you to invite me as a host. So we're going to be Frank and Ninon host. Is that what it's going to be?
That's exactly what it's going to be.
How wonderful. I look forward to it. Well, I hopefully will be talking about all sorts of different things, and the entertainment business especially, and the younger generation. But as you said, mostly the small business people, and maybe we can have a few people call in or whatever. I'm not going to be running the show. You are.
I'll tell you what's amazing.
But I have great ideas.
Yeah, a lot of the people that are signing up for this Transact card, in their digital branch office realm, which is what they're building. They're building these incredible amounts of infrastructure across the country, where every single one of these DBOs are signing up right now are going to have a franchise piece of these banks that are coming on board. So all these people are going to be looked at as bankers and not some MLM network marketing group. We're talking serious business here. But at the same point in time, I'm sitting here looking at us as a support mechanism for this.
Yes.
Because we've done a lot of shows for Transact Card. We've done about 6 shows between Patrick and I. We've interviewed the owners. We've interviewed some of the key people and different things like that. I want to keep pushing that forward. In fact, we're talking to them right now about doing a live show platform during their launch. Okay. Which means you would be a part of that, Ninon. How does that sound?
Absolutely. I think to get the word out there as much as possible, there are no limitations and there are no limits to where you can actually record something in this day and age. You do not have to be in a studio anymore. You can be anywhere. You can be on the streets, in a restaurant. I mean, I did my show, Ninon Speaks in Vegas Live with Ninon. I did that in restaurants as well. And the noise and everybody said, well, Ninon, what about the noise? I said, who cares about the noise? At least they'll know I'm somewhere.
Well, let me do it officially. I used to play trumpet until I got my front teeth knocked out when I played intramural basketball when I was a kid. But the bottom line is announcing Ninon de Vere De Rosa, official co-host of BizZne BuzZ and Business Watch. And you heard it here first.
I love it. I'm so excited and thank you. And I will bow down.
This is going to be a lot.
Doctor, what do you think of this?
Oh, I'm excited because, Frank has some really great people that have been on, and I've been wanting him to have another voice. I'm happy to jump in and talk when needed, but you have a really great following and a great knowledge as well. And so you being able to be here on a consistent basis will really help expand the show and bring some new blood in and new listeners. So super exciting for both of you. Congratulations for all of us here for BizZne BuzZ.
And Dr. Andrea, you put out your contact information right now because we got 4 minutes to go on the show. Go ahead.
All right, Dr. Andrea Adams Miller, www.theredcarpetconnection.com, theredcarpetconnection.com. Time for you to be seen, be heard, and get published and get promoted so that you are profitable.
Absolutely. I love it. Ninon,
what's this about this red? Sorry, Frank, but what's this about this red carpet?
Go ahead.
Doctor.
Oh, my red carpet. Yeah, I'm the red carpet connection. So I'm at every red carpet. So there we go. We'll be doing the red carpet for you in a couple months.
No, because I'm known in Vegas for red carpets. I get called for red carpets all the time. I do a lot of film red carpets. So you are just who I personally want for my red carpets. That's amazing.
Well, it sounds like we'll be a nice trio.
Yeah.
Very nice. Ninon, put out your contact information for NinonSpeaks, please.
Oh, NinonSpeaks is a weekly show. It is on the internet. It is on NDD Network on YouTube. We are also on Facebook and we're on all the media platforms, everything else. Ninon, Vegas Live with Ninon was going for many, many years, for 8 years, as I said. You can also see that at NDD Network. So I opened up my own network because I had all these different shows going. I also have an antique, NDD Antiques, NDD Real Estate. So Frank doesn't know I do antiques, but he knows now. So I have all these different things going. So Doctor, I will need you. Get all this publicity out there. But you can reach me at Ninon@ninonspeaks.com. I'm going to give you my phone number because what's the point of having a phone number if you don't use it? So my phone number is 310. I know I'm in Vegas, but it's 310-867-5959.
Outstanding. Ladies, thank you so much for being on the show with me. And as I cut away, I'm going to do a little plug for my partner, Patrick Lang. You can find him on Finding Certainty on Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're a small business out there and you want to get with a soft pillow for troubled hearts, believe me, that's Patrick Lang. And believe me, he knows how to bring out the best in you. Finding Certainty, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the VoiceAmerica Business Network. Ninon, thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you so much for accepting this incredible opportunity of being my co-host alongside. You'll be with me next week starting, even though we've got to put a lot of pieces together and whatnot to put all the graphics together and our faces up side by side and all that. Well, that ain't going to stop us, right? We're going to be together next week. And Dr. Andrea, real quick, who's our guest next week?
We have Robert Palinkas. He is the founder of a new app called Directions.app. You can look at it now. It's in beta, and it's helping people all over the world to find and give directions to their loved ones, best for hotels, for tourists, to events that are outside. It is going to take people right to where they want to go in a minute. So it's just great.
So you don't want to miss that show. Hey, my audience out there on my 3rd anniversary, thank you for tuning in to BizZne BuzZ today. If you'd like to be a guest, or have a business that needs to elevate your brand and expand your reach, you can reach us toll free, 877-3-NOWBUZ. And I'm telling you something right now, don't miss that next week's show that Dr. Andrea just put out. It's going to be absolutely amazing with my brand new co-host, Ninon de Vere De Rosa. It's going to be a great, great show. The buzz of your business is what we seek to increase week in and week out. Tune in next week as we bring more guests and resources to make your business buzz.
All clear. Great job today, everyone. Hey, Frank, I'm going to send you over an email for some stuff for that, for the new show process.
You got it, buddy. Take care. Thank you,
Awesome.
Andrew.
Take care. Have a great day.
You got it. Let me stop recording here, ladies. Okay, there we go.